back to another Warcraft 3 gameplay cast with me, Thendis32. Now, for those who did not see the WCA Open qualifiers, I'm sorry that I'm the guy that you have to hear this news, but apparently Cechi is retiring from Warcraft 3, and from what he's told me on Skype, it's good for this time. This time it's good. So I decided to do some searching. Search the deep dark crevices of Warcraft replays to find a nice series of Cechi in my way of saying goodbye to him. So let us introduce these players. Spawning as the yellow undead, it is Cechi. And his opponent, spawning as the blue undead, it is WFZ. Undead Mirror on Crystal Kingdom. Now, it actually took a while. Like, Cechi's been in a lot of great series, and it was really hard to pick. So I decided to pick one for the tournament that he's pretty most known for, and that would be the old Zotac Cups of the day, as this is, I believe, from a Zotac Cup sometime in 2013. I believe. I could be wrong. But it is sad to see a player like Cechi retire. He said he wanted to go on to college, wanted to study, maybe even move on to Dota. And it's his life and his choice. But that's enough of me talking about that. Let's get into this great game. We have a Death Knight first out of Cechi. And it looks like WFZ actually opened up with the normal Fiend build, whereas Cechi did the Ted Fiend build. Alright, so the differences between these builds is, as you can see, Cechi did get his Death Knight a lot sooner than WFZ. But WFZ is able to get some Fiends out quicker than Cechi would. But Cechi also gets a quicker tech. So there's many different outcomes from this build. They both have their ups, they both have their downs. Like with the Ted Fiend build, you really don't have much defense to deal with early aggression. Whereas the normal Fiend build, you got a couple Fiends out to defend. So it's just different on what happens. I'm gonna mess with the volume one last time. Just one last time. Alright, alright.
A player's forces are under attack.
Alright, Fiends out for WFZ. Cechi deciding to creep away with his Death Knight and some skeletons. I know sometimes with this build, undead players will run over to their opponents and use their own corpses spawned by their own graveyard and do some harassment on the acolytes. But Cechi opting not to do that. Instead, he's going to creep his green spot. Another thing I forgot to mention on Crystal Kingdom, that there's a wall into your base. So your opponent can kill that wall off and do a little bit of a side attack onto your base. There's one over here for WFC's base, so maybe that'll become a factor in this game. We do have both players creeping away so far. Cechi did finish his green spot, got a ring of protection +2 for it, and it looks like he's going to try to harass WFC a little. Maybe try to coil sniper creep. Alright, tech-wise, Cechi, like I said, with the quicker tech, he should now be starting Fiend production. And he's supply capped. He's going to need to build another graveyard, cigarette before he does that. Alright, Cechi with some skeletons. WFZ is going to spot that Cechi is nearby. He's going to decide to creep away anyway. Feeling confident in his base defense. He does have a Nerubian tower, so he is able to slow up these skeletons at Cechi. Alright, Wand of Lightning Shield for WFZ. And he will get level 2, so he will have Unholy Aura. Cechi trying to snipe an Acolyte. I don't think he'll be able to do it. WFC does microwave the Acolytes. WFC is tanking a bit on the Fiends. Cechi trying to get that coil snipe. Does not get it. WFC quicker on that. Meanwhile, WFC also now starting his tech to tier 2. So far, all the Acolytes are still alive for him. And Cechi's starting his own Fiend production and getting a defensive Spirit Tower by the looks of things. Alright, WFC gonna kill his own rocks here, so able to creep this green spot while being near his base to defend. At least I think that was the point of that. Alright, WFZ. Chechi is nearby. He's not going to let him creep easy. WFZ needs to be careful with these fiends. He does get a coil on him. It is only level 1 coil, so it doesn't fully heal that fiend. Alright, both players creeping away. WFZ with the ring of protection of his own. Alright, Chechi continuing to pressure. He's not level 2 yet. That skeleton shouldn't get him to it. He's gonna need one more little unit to kill. Maybe try to get another skeleton. Maybe. Alright, meanwhile, in the world of Chechi, he's quickly taking up the tier 3. No Slaughterhouse, no Lich quite yet, so he really wants to get that Destroyer tech on the way, whereas WFZ, he's still not at tier 2 yet. So he's still got a way to go, but when he's tier 2, more than likely, I believe both these players will do the standard Fiend Destroyer play. So more than likely, they're both eventually going to get a Slaughterhouse. There it is, Chechi now starting one. Still no Lich out of Chechi. I think he's going to do that thing where players time the Lich, so right as the Lich comes out, the tier 3 finishes, and the Lich will be able to get an Orb of Corruption. I personally don't do it. I like to get the Lich out sooner so we can get those extra levels, because a level 2 Nova with the Orb of Corruption is a lot better than a level 1 Nova with the Orb of Corruption. But that's just preference. Meanwhile, Chechi getting level 2 does get the Watcher reward from the Tuskar. So we'll be able to see if WFZ decides to creep it. Maybe walk by to do the red camp. Oh, WFZ gonna attack. He won't be able to get a cancel on that Slaughterhouse, but he did get some nice damage down on it. Skeleton's going on to the Acolytes. Chechi forced to pull some ghouls here, as he can't lose an Acolyte, because while he's taking up, he will not be able to remake any Acolyte that dies. Alright, as you can see on the minimap, Chechi is running back to his base, try to defend. One Acolyte goes down for WFZ. We do have some statues on the way. Chechi is nearby, and WFZ quickly backing off. Meanwhile, we see a tech to tier 3 from him. The Lich is the second hero choice, and Slaughterhouse? Yes. So both players, so far so good. Chechi starting his Lich now. Like I said, he's going to get out when the tier 3 finishes, so he's going to be able to get that orb right away. Oh, if I did not mention this, this is a best of 3. If I did mention that before, this is a best of 3. Both players going back to creep the Overlord Arachnids. Those ugly scorpion spider-like creatures. Ooh, they even know Shadow Strike. Level 3 in the Death Knight of WFZ. Whereas Chechi's Death Knight's a little bit lower. And the Lich is now out with the Orb of Corruption. The Death Knight WFZ picking up an invulnerability potion, solo creeping with the Lich. In Undead Mirror, it doesn't matter. As long as you get level 3 in the Death Knight, you're good. At that point, you're going to want to solo creep your Lich, because you're definitely going to want those stronger Novas out in the fight. Because remember, you can't coil your opponent's units. Doesn't do damage. You can't do the coil Nova. You rely purely on the coil, the Novas. Alright, both players creeping away. More than likely, WFZ trying to get level 3 on his Lich. Meanwhile, WFZ finishing up his tech to tier 3. We do see Abominations on the way. I'm not sure if Chechi got the Destroyer upgrade. I'm pretty sure he did. If not, he's going to get it soon. Unlike Back to Warcraft, I do not have that production bar tab. Although I do want it so badly. I just don't want to download the hack. It's not a hack, but I still don't want to download stuff. Ooh, WFZ's Death Knight running in a world of hurt. Dark Ranger blocking up the Death Knight at WFZ. Nice play by Chechi, forcing a TP. And we do see a Dark Ranger third out of Chechi, which is also pretty standard. WFZ does not have a Dark Ranger yet, so he won't be able to have any silences for Chechi's Lich. Although Chechi's Lich is not at level 3, so he doesn't have that stronger Nova quite yet. Meanwhile, it's currently 48 supply for Chechi versus 39 of WFZ. And the Watcher Ward of Chechi does spot this happening. WFZ will get level 3 from this camp. So maybe Chechi knows he can possibly do a riskier creep camp, such as the red spot, the blue dragon. See what super duper item he drops. Not sure if Chechi has web. He's getting it on the way. Should finish in time to do that blue dragon. Meanwhile, it looks like WFZ gonna do his red spot. So let's see what super duper items both these players get. Oh, and I found a mana, so plenty of coils for that Death Knight. And the blue dragon dropped the Sobi mask. Very nice item. Stick down the Lich for more Novas. Alright, WFC's blue dragon will drop Book of the Dead. Not that great of an item, as destroyers can easily devour those skeletal minions. Meanwhile, Chechi going straight for the other red camp. I believe the Furbolg Elder Shaman drops the super duper item. I'm not too familiar with Crystal Kingdom. Yes, the Elder Shaman does drop the camp, and WFC gonna do his red spot. So both players getting those big creep camps out, getting those items. It's gonna definitely help decide the last fight. Stone token for Chechi. Not the greatest item, because I believe they can also be devoured by the destroyers. And WFC will get Pendant of Energy? No, Red Dragon Egg. Yeah, so a bunch of summonables in this map. Both players continuing to creep. But we are starting to run out of creep camps, which means a big fight could be happening anytime soon. It's 48 supply for Chechi versus 56 of WFZ. So WFZ wasting a little time going straight into that upkeep. He wants the bigger army to fight. Meanwhile, we see level 3 Death Knight, level 2 Dark Ranger, level 3 Lich versus a level 3 Death Knight, level 3 Lich, and a level 2 Dark Ranger. Both players, I'm sure, are stocked with loads of invuln pots, greater healing potion, invuln pot. So WFC having an invuln pot on all of his heroes is going to be very helpful. We might see an engagement here. Oh, Dark Ranger WFC running straight in there, getting Nova, forced to use invuln pot. Red Dragon coming out for WFC. No destroyers out for Chechi. Destroyers coming in for WFZ. Alright, Coil gonna save the Fiend of Chechi. Coil saving the Dark Ranger of WFC. And this is looking like a great engagement. Rock Golem coming in. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight and a Frost Nova. Book of the Dead being used. But Chechi can devour those skeletal minions, but he has no destroyers out. I'm not sure why Chechi has no destroyers. Did he not get the upgrade? Anyway, this is not looking like a good fight for him. WFC plowing right through this. Chechi desperately trying to make more and more units. Alright, Death Knight WFC getting caught in a bad spot again. Will he get rock bolted? He does. Burl. Invuln pot used by both of these Death Knights. Death Pack saving WFC's Death Knight. I heard a Banshee die. I believe WFC has Banshees now. Alright, Frost Nova going down on WFC's Fiends. This is a big fight here. Chechi trying his best to hold. I don't understand why he has no destroyers. Level 4 in the Death Knight of Chechi. Alright, another Nova going down. WFC's Death Knight does die, but it was killed by a tower. No experience was given. Oh, but now the Dark Ranger and Chechi with the magical hold. As GG is called. Chechi taking game number 1 in this best of 3. If you guys like this cast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch at Thendis32, and I will catch you guys later.